Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining Create with Dee. I'm Dee Slater, Stampin' Up! Independent Demonstrator, and welcome to my live at 5 on Wednesday nights at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. Welcome. Today we are going to be doing some easel cards featuring some new products from the brand new 2023-24 annual catalog by Stampin' Up! I'm going to be featuring the Countryside Inn suite of products. And let me just kind of share with you what this looks like online and on the catalog. So it's this beautiful blue palette of designer paper, and the suite of products includes the paper, the embossing folder, and we'll be exploring this bundle here in just a little bit. And then the Lasting Joy stamp set matches it as well. So that's the products that I'm going to be using, how you can use a suite of products to create some of these beautiful blue tone cards. Okay, I'm going to switch the camera around here in just a second. But before I do, I would really appreciate it if you give this video a like or a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're on Facebook, to like and follow my page. Please leave a comment so that I know that you're there. And if I don't get to you during the live, I'll definitely look at the comments afterwards. Hi, Marge. Thanks for joining. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera around and we will get started here. All right, so we are going to be doing some more easel cards. And like I said, we are going to be featuring, I'm going to be featuring the Countryside Corners bundle. Because the Countryside, this is this stamp set, and I'll show you how unique this is here in just a little bit. And then, oh my gosh, I'm a little bit like, you know, cuckoo for Cocoa Pops about this die set. Look at these yummy, yummy layering, I guess, hexagon type of shapes. 1, 2, 3, 4, no, octagons. Anyways, they're layering. We love our layering dies, I think. So anyways, I love that die set. I just saw today that the embossing folder is on back order. This is a Countryside Blossoms. I'm going to be using it on one of the cards today, but just so that you get an idea of how that works. And then Lasting Joy is these images here are kind of, well, they do coordinate with the Countryside Inn Designer Series paper. And so, and then I really like the sentiments too. So they're designed to play along with our Countryside Blossom dies. All right, that's the products. And let's look at the cards. All right, we're going to be making 3 easel cards. 2 of them have a unique shape. I'm going to kind of talk about the more of the traditional one here at first. This one says, I'm thankful. We've got embossing. I'll kind of show you how I get this cutout look from the dies on it. So that's one. And these 2 are, we're going to use the largest of the Countryside Blossom dies to get shaped easels out of that. So let me just kind of show you that. Hi, Doreen. Hi, Donnie. Oops, Danny, sorry about that. That, yes, I need to get my glasses done. But look at this cute different easel shape on that. And then I have it going in either of the orientations. So this is what class is today. And this is what, if you would, you know, there's the ordering and you get this free, you would get 1 of each. I'll do all of the die cutting for you. And if you local girls are watching, this is our card class next week, next Tuesday. So you can watch and then you'll know how to make it too. All right, let's go ahead and let's get started talking about the stamp set and the bundle, because I'm going to use that on some of the elements. And then also we can kind of see how this goes. All right, so that stamp set is one big stamp. It's not multiple stamps, it's one stamp. Let me just kind of show you the outside of it again. And we're going to do this, and I'll show you how that we're going to use it later on here. But what this does is, like, you pick what shape or what size that you want. So you stamp it once, and then you pick out whatever shape that you want, and you can die cut around, and it leaves that border. All right, so let me show you how we're going to do that. Oops, let me put these off to the side. I'm going to be using my die cutting machine a couple of times here tonight at class. So I'll be bringing that in and out so we can see it. All right, so I'm going to ink up this nice large stamp. I'm using the Misty Moonlight. Be using Misty Moonlight and Boha Blue on our inks here tonight. Okay, so I'm going to stamp that. And I'm not going to use the outer one, so I'm not going to worry too much about that didn't stamp. If you were going to use the outside one, you would want to re-stamp that. All right, I'm going to bring in my die cutting machine. And bring this in. Pick up that image here. All right. So I'm going to be cutting out two of the different shapes here. I'm going to first start out with this size here. And as you can see, it's got the polka dot. And so let me get that lined up. I got my crank on the other side here. Let me see if I can do it with my left hand. So if this jiggles a little bit, I'm sorry. All right. Whoops, it shifted on me. Oh, darn it. Well, I better stamp again. Let me grab another one. Let me do that again. I have Post-it notes handy and I didn't use them. Normally I die cut straight on and I've got it at an angle. Let me get this done again. Hold please. All right. I know this is going to be a little small, but we're not going to use the larger ones from it. Okay. Let's try again. Turn it this direction. And we'll go this way. I'll get it sandwiched a little tighter this time. All right. Whoops. Let's try that again. I do have Post-it notes, but I'm going to just line it up. That looked good. Hold it down. If I press it hard or press it while it goes, that'll work just as well too. And there's that. Yay. All right, so now while I have this out, I'm going to be using another one of those later on. And I'm going to use the little flower one. And so while I have this out, and then this way too, you can see how you can cut out and see how that works. Post-it note if you need it. That looks good. And now we have that border. Love it. So those are kind of nesting. So it's kind of like a nesting stamp set there. Okay. To get the big shot, or I'll say big shot by accident a couple of times, I'm sure, but we'll get the die cutting machine off to the side for now, because we're going to bring it back with some of our other two elements here. All right. There we go. All right. Now we can start building our first card. Let's go ahead and we're going to start with, let's go ahead and start with this one. We'll use those here in just a little bit. All right, so this easel card here, what we do is, an easel card always has a stopper On this case, I have this one. This one says birthday wishes for you. And when you open it up, it actually has a little gift card. So it can be a gift card holder as well. I kind of thought of this after I did the initial design. When we make ours, I'm going to adjust where my stopper is just a little bit. As a gift card holder. All right, let's put this pretty card together. Whoops, okay. So ahead of time, oops, I have these all in different orders. All right, let's pretend I'm starting from scratch. All right, let's go ahead and redo this card first. Got a little sneak peek of the other ones. Whew. I was rushing around after work. I come right from there to here. Got a little bit all crazy. All right, so to make these, here's the easel card that we're going to make right now. And that's the die cut that we did. I'm so laughing at myself right now. All right, so first of all, we're going to make the base. I'm going to make the base on this one, and then our next card, it'll be the same way of doing it, but we'll see it in action here right now. All right, so as you can tell, this base has a shape of it. It's not just the normal, fold the card in half and make your easel card. So how we're going to do this is I'm going to start with a piece of 4 1/4 by 11, and this is our Misty Moonlight. And I'm going to bring in the die cutting machine again. And this time I'm going to take the largest of the Country Blossoms dies. I am sitting here like I really am. I'm sitting here just like kind of smiling. What we want to do in order to get a shaped card base using our large dies is that we need to have it, one of the edge of the dies go beyond the score line here. And so I'm going to just put it so that it's slightly above that score line, or the fold line, I should say. And I'm going to put a Post-it note down to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. Oops, let's get it on the right layer. Make sure I've got it again. All right, so you can see that it's just a little bit above the fold line. We'll make our sandwich and we'll run it through. I'll go ahead and move that. And so now when we take off our Post-it note and everything, we have a card base that has the fold line at the top in the shape of the largest Country Blossoms or the Countryside dies. All right, move all of this. And go ahead and now I got to get another piece of paper here just real quick, since I used that one. You right with this? Okay. And I need, whoops, I put this away a little too quickly. I also need one full what do I say? Just a full Misty Moonlight of the same shape that we had for our card. So I'll go ahead and die cut just one of those. We're going to do a lot of prep work on this first one. And then the other cards, since we've already seen it once, I've got some of it done ahead of time. So it'll just be more assembly on it. So this is really showcasing how to utilize these dies and how to make these. All right, so now we've got the card base, so a hinged one and an extra one. And now I've kind of got these strips of the Countryside in designer paper, and I've got them cut out. And what I did is I started out with 4 1-inch strips, and we're going to glue these onto a piece of basic white. These are about a 1-inch by 5-inch strip. We just want to make sure that they're a little longer than the second from the largest. Oops, of those dies. Got a little, get that started. Oops, come on there. Got it clogged up. There we go. All right. So I'm using some liquid glue, and I'm just going to glue this down on a piece of basic white. It's about a 4 by 5 piece of paper. And this is the same paper. We're just going to use front and back. All of these Countryside Inn papers all go together. There's not a, in my opinion, a bad pattern in the batch. Okay, well, so I'm just alternating the strips. And then this is going to give us our little piecemeal, or a piece. I won't call it a quilt, but it's, you know, quilt-like as far as doing some piecing together. Okay, so I've got something that looks like that, and we don't have to worry about it lining up or anything on the edges, because we're going to die cut out the next shape down. So this is some ideas on how you can use your dies and your frames. Get these out here. See if we got this in the shot. There we go. All right, so here was our largest one that we cut the base out of, and now this one's the next size down. And we're just going to position it so that it looks about in the center of these here. So I'm kind of going to line it up so the center's there. And once again, I've got it at a strange angle, but I think that looks good. And we'll get this done. So in, you know, this first part of our class here tonight, lots of techniques, lots of ideas on how to use these large nesting dies. All right. So then we get a really cool strip like this. Now what you could do is you could cut this out and you could layer it if you wanted to, and then just trim around it. But this way it has nice, crisp, and sharp edges to it, and you don't have to get your snips out and do the trimming. Woo! Okay. I think we're ready. Yay! All right, so here's our card base that we made. And we're going to go ahead and make our easel mechanism by taking the front flap, and we're going to fold it in half. And when we fold it in half, it will overlap a little bit here on the fold line, if you can see that. That's okay. What I want it to do is we want to match up the edges here. Okay, so match up the edges. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and we'll glue our layering piece on. So pretty. So, so pretty. Now we're finally getting ready to make the card. But like I said, once you kind of get this, you see this first part, our rest of our cards will go together really quickly. All right, let's go ahead and we'll put some ribbon on it. This is the new beautiful boho blue textured ribbon. And we'll go ahead and we'll make a bow. So this ribbon is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Love it with this paper. We're going to use it twice here tonight. And I wanted to show that if you've got the embossing system, you know, that has all of the different components on it, you've got this little grabber that comes with the embossing, and it's a great third hand, especially for tying ribbon. So if you want, you can kind of go like that. Kind of keeps it in place for you. And why don't we just make a knot this time? And we'll just make a knot, but then that kind of helps keep it anchored. So again, it's kind of like a little clippy thing that holds it. Make a pretty knot. And we'll go ahead. I've got my larger scissors. These are, I always call them my ribbon scissors. They're super sharp sewing scissors, and they're a little bigger, and they're nice to make when you cut ribbon. Stampin' Up used to sell them, but you can find them at other stores. Okay, so we've got our layering piece. And now what we want to do is, since this matches exactly to our, you know, our form that we have, where you can add adhesive all on the front here. So if you happen to watch my easel class from last week, some of this looks a little familiar with the base. Only this time we've got a shape. So just do it on the bottom half because we don't want it to interfere with the easel. Pretty. And then with that same, the step down die, I cut out a piece of that beautiful Country Inn designer series paper, and we're going to layer that on the inside. Okay. Let's get the rest of our card put together here. I'm going to take some scrap of some boho blue and the bow punch. I love this punch. It's just so easy to get those quick leaf images. So I've got vellum cardstock as well. And see here. Now I'm going to take our layering piece that we die cut out earlier. That's the one that has the, you know, the edge around it. And then ahead of time, I took, one of the other layering pieces in there and just cut out a layering piece of on basic white. And because the Countryside Corners doesn't have any sentiments, it's just that one big stamp set, we do need to have another stamp set that has sentiments. So I'm using all of the sayings that's in this Lasting Joy. And we'll go ahead and we'll pull out the Always. And I'll go ahead, we'll get that stamped. Get out my Misty Moonlight again. This font is so pretty. Always. And then we are also going to use Always in My Heart. I have some nieces and nephews that live in other states and far away, and oh my gosh, this just is kind of a really nice sentiment to use for something like that. And I've got two of those same size labels. Always, still use our Misty Moonlight. Always in My Heart. I've got my chamois close by to wipe things off. Okay, and then the Country Bouquet Heart Punch. And I'm going to use the scraps again and punch out that for just the smallest heart. There, it landed in a perfect position. You could use any heart punch or die that you have. There's lots of them in the different sets. All right, let's get that off to the side. All right, we are ready to put things together. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and use dimensionals on the always. Got the fold, I've got 2 dimensionals. These are the standard ones. Get those off. And I'm going to cover up the smaller one in there. And now I'm going to put some more dimensionals on the back. I'm going to straddle this ribbon. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a dimensional on either side of it, knowing that this layer will go over top of it. But then that way, I'm going to put a couple. That way I know it's going to go over the ribbon and work out really well. Here. Okay. And I actually have this because it will still fit in an envelope, getting a little artsy and having it go off of the, off of the card base a little bit. Oops, forgot to put my leaves on here. Let's get those tucked in real quickly. Put these on the back side. Oops, yeah. See if I can get those tucked in. You'd want to put your leaves down first there, but I'm just going to kind of tuck those in. The vellum just kind of gives it a real subtle look to it, subtle texture. Be a little different than the sample, but that'll be just fine. All right, so in my heart, every is going to be my stopper. So every easel card needs a stopper. And so I'm going to go ahead and put 2 dimensionals on it. And the stopper or the catch needs to be raised a little bit so that the front of the easel has something to rest behind. And it doesn't matter, it just, wherever you put it, just depends on how far up you want your easel to be. I'm going to put this, about right like that. Add, and I think I want a mini dimensional now on this heart. Or you could cut a full dimensional in half, however you'd like to do it. Put it down towards the bottom. I want it to overlap on the top of this sentiment just a little bit. So a little more of a, I would say this is like a, what do I want to say? It's taking the steps on it. Okay, almost there. Now we're going to take some bling, and I'm using the iridescent rhinestones. You could use just regular rhinestones if you'd like as well, like these iridescent ones. And I'm going to put a couple on either side of the sentiments. Use whatever size that you want. I'm using the small ones right now just because there's a lot of them. And let's put a couple on the designer paper, kind of catch the light. And then we'll open it up here. We're going to put 3 on the bottom as well. Whoops. On either side. And then 1 in the middle of the heart. And there we go. That's our first easel card. But and especially, as an easel card to kind of change it up. Okay, that's our first card. Let me know what you think about that. Love to know that. All right, so let me get this kind of cleaned up here. And we'll go on to the second one. All right, so here's our second card that we're going to be making here tonight. And this time, I've got the die cutting done ahead of time, just since we've already seen it once, we don't have to go step by step again. It's very, it's similar to that. And let's see here, get my circle punch. Okay. So for this card, what I did is I started out with a piece of 8.5 by 5.5, folded it in half, just like a very traditional card. Only this time I used the horizontal orientation to die cut out our card base. Again, had it so it went just a little bit above the fold line, ran it through, and then so I got the card base and then did a second card for the front. Okay, so when we are done, we have a card base that opens up in this direction. All right, let's go ahead and we'll get these decorated. All right, in addition to the white cardstock base and the layering, what we are also going to have for it are 2 pieces of boho blue with using the next size down, and we're going to need 2 of those. And then on the next size down from that, we're going to take 2 pieces of our Countryside and designer paper and die cut 2 of those. And we can go ahead and just layer those onto the boho blue. I did want to show that you can use either side of these that you'd like. I'm going to use the bird and flower side for my top part for the focal, and then use the stripe side for underneath. If you were making wanting to make a masculine card, you could use the stripe side for both the front and the bottom. So on the designer paper, one side is more floral and the other side is more of a neutral pattern, I might call it. Okay. Thanks, Marge. I'm glad that you like that in the different shapes. Okay, so this is the front. We're just going to go ahead and just glue that down to the front of the card. And like I said, if you are taking class in person or you want to get the kit to go, I will have the card bases and everything pre-die cut for you in the shapes so that you can sit down and just assemble and stamp using your own stamps that you have. Okay, we've got that. And just like before, the front flap needs to be folded in half. And what's nice about this is that we're going to line up the sides here so that we know that it's nice and symmetrical. So don't worry about trying to fold it down to the score line. Fold it down to these symmetrical edges. Okay, and I'll get my bone folder. And just like before, because this is going to fit perfectly over top, we're going to add adhesive all on the fold down flap part. And put the top on. And I'll kind of line that up. You can even open it up and close it, make sure. Even if you didn't make an easel card out of it, you could just do that. Look how pretty that is, even without an easel. But we are all about doing our easel cards. All right, so again, I've got that small, I kind of call it the label size. And we're going to make a birthday card out of this one. So from our Lasting Joy stamp set, we're going to get birthday wishes. There we go. And this time we're going to stamp it with some boho blue. So we'll get this. And again, I'm going to just stamp them both right in the middle. Birthday wishes. cleaned off. And then this one says birthday wishes for you. And I'll get the for you out of the stamp set. The for you could be so cute, like any little tag that you want to make for somebody. You know, you could always just stamp a for you on it. So sweet. Sweet and itty bitty. All right, that's our stamping. I'm going to take the 2-inch circle punch. You could take your layering circle dies. And I'm going to take my vellum and punch a circle. And I'm going to have that just glued right onto the front. I'm going to just add some adhesive right in the center because I don't want the glue to show. This makes a nice layering element, but you can still see the designer paper through it. So I really like that. All right, so I'm going to put 3 dimensionals on here, but I'm going to start out with 1 in the center. And I'm going to take some linen thread and I'm going to, wrap this around my 4 fingers here. Just kind of go 1, 2, and then stop on the 3rd time. Get my snips and cut that off. And then I took the backing off of it already. I'm going to take this off of my fingers. There's where the ends meet. And I'm going to twist it. And I'm going to go ahead and put that down. At an angle. And this is going to make my loops on that. So that's going to make my loops. You can adjust it a little bit if you want. I'm going to move that down just a tad. So there's that. And then the dimensional kind of helps keep it in place while I do that. And then I like to take a mini glue dot and I'm going to kind of secure that loop on it. So I'm going to grab a glue dot and then just kind of put that right over where those intersect. Might even put just a little bit of glue. I didn't twist that one quite all the way, but I'm going to make sure when I put that down that that loop isn't going to go anywhere. And we'll go ahead and I'm going to put a dimensional on either side of this now. That's all wonky. All right. And this is going to go right in the center. So we've got all sorts of texture here. We've got the linen thread. We've got some vellum. And then where's my snips? I'm going to get rid of some of this. I'm going to get rid of this tail right there. There we go. So now I got 3 loops and 3 loops. And let me get my gift card back here. So if you wanted to make this a gift card holder, it's kind of a fun happy birthday for you. So you can position your gift holder if you want to make it a gift card holder. Push this clear up to the edge. Now, if you didn't want it, you could put your stopper like we did before wherever you'd like. But to position this, what I'm going to do is put the gift card in first. And I'm going to put the dimensionals just slightly beneath it. Oops, let me pull this up. And put those together. Okay. And so now when you put this like this, so now it's going to have a little tucking. So when you have that for you, but you can tuck in your gift card holder. And you have that. So they open it up. Here's your gift card holder. They take it, and then you have your easel card. So that's how I'm making this a gift card holder. All right, so let's put our bling on it. Gonna go back to these iridescent. You can also do your rhinestones or whichever one that you'd like. Let's go ahead and we'll use some medium ones on this. Birthday wishes. Have that. And then we'll open it up. Maybe a couple small ones under the For You. Rhinestones and these gems just make a card extra special. And then there's our second card. So that's how you can turn an easel card into a gift card holder if you'd like. Alrighty. Oh, good. Thanks for saying that you like the shape of the card, Cheryl. All right, we'll put that off to the side. And now our third card here for class is a traditional base on it. We're not going to do any extra die cutting on it. But what we are going to do is at the first part, remember when we had this, our layering piece that we cut out, we're going to utilize this on our third card. So I'm going to start with a piece of thick basic white, 4 1/4 by 11. And we're going to make our easel base. So fold it in half, open it up, and then fold it towards the center. Fold, crisp edge. All right, so we have that. Other pieces that we have in our third easel card is we have 2 layering pieces of our Misty Moonlight. I have these cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And ahead of time, I did go ahead and, well, this is 3 3/4 by 5 piece of basic white. And I did use the country, oh, what's this called again? The Countryside Blossoms embossing folder. Right now it's unavailable, but I'm hoping it gets back in stock real soon. It does kind of mirror the paper. It does mirror that. And we're going to put that here. And then here's another, and then this is a 2 1/2 by 3 3/4 piece of our Countryside Inn Designer Series paper. And I'm going to put that at the bottom of our embossed layer. I do want to do a little decorating on that before we put it down. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this down. Use our liquid glue. And then I have, oops, make sure that's good. And then I have a 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch by 3 3/4 piece of our Misty Moonlight. And I'm going to put that as kind of a transition piece over top. So that's going to look like that. Then I'm going to take some tear and tape and put on the center because I'm going to add the ribbon. I'm going to put that right on the center of our Misty Moonlight blue. And get this taken up. And I'll get this beautiful blue ribbon. This is another way of adding ribbon when you like to put the tear and tape down on it, when on these heavier ribbons that you're just going to make basically a ribbon layer on it. And I'm turning it to the other side and just trimming it off on the edge. So pretty. Now I'll get our layering piece of Misty Moonlight back in. We're going to put down and put adhesive on the back. Some people like to put tear and tape on the back of the embossing, like an embossed layer. I think that's just kind of user's choice on that. It's whatever you're most comfortable with. If it's not too raised, I think just liquid glue is fine. But again, it's everybody's preference on it. Now on this one, this layering piece does not go coast to coast. So what I want to do is I'm going to put some adhesive here towards the top, but I'm not going to go all the way there. And then it is like, here's the bottom of our layering piece for the easel card. It is going to go here, and it's about halfway, but I don't want to go I want to make sure that I stay below that line, and I do have the adhesive there. And I'm going to close the card and get that kind of matted. Whoops, matted where I want it. That looks good. And then you can always come in and try to sneak a little adhesive there if you want, but I think that looks good. Okay. Now we could just stamp and have the something in there, but I wanted to make these cards really special for you guys. So I am going to add another layering piece here on the inside. And I'm going to put our liquid glue. Again, that was 4 by 5 1/4. Put that down and hopefully that matches up. Now I have a piece of 1 1/2 by 3 3/4 piece of designer paper. This is one of the different patterns that are on there. And I'm going to have that so it kind of, let's see, I think that looks good. Or I'm sorry, this is actually 4 by 1 1/2. This is going to go all the way. Oops, I think that goes this way. Again, I just kind of did this strip just so that you could see some of the other really beautiful patterns that are in there. All right, let's do some stamping now. This time we're going to use the sentiments, I'm so thankful you're in my life. I really like these combination of these inside outside sentiments that you can play around with and mix and match. So we're going to do the I'm so thankful that you're in my life. Okay, get my block. This time we're going back to our Misty Moonlight. And the I'm so thankful is going to go on the boho blue. Get that cleaned off. And now I'm going to use the I'm so thankful that you're in my life. I like that sentiment combination in the fact, like you can say, I'm so thankful, and you could say for you, but then here's the you're in my life. What a wonderful thing to be told that someone, you know, is, you know, grateful, has a heart full of gratitude that that you're part of them, and what a wonderful way of letting them know. All right, so we have this border piece that we had die cut out earlier, and this time I'm going to take definitely going to take my mini dimensionals, and I'm going to put those around this border that we stamped and then die cut out the layers. Again, while you're making those, you know, you can think of different ways of using them, and hopefully this kind of gives you a few ideas of how you could use the, what am I calling these? The countryside corners, the countryside corners dies. I don't know why I don't want to call them something with countryside. I know they're part of that suite. All right, so I've got those nice and supported. I'll go ahead and take off the back. I have, I don't know if you guys have ever seen these, but like back in the day, and I have some here for around the studio, it's those, the sweeper that doesn't have any electricity to it. It's just like kind of, you know, it has the brushes on it, and then you just kind of can do that. It picks up all of my little doodads that I have on there. Okay, so you saw that I kind of had this frame on here, and this frame, what it allows to have that beautiful embossing pop through the back of it. And so now when I do this, it really just super highlights this. Oh my gosh, I didn't, let me, my battery's running low. Hang on just a second. Gotta get it plugged in here before I lose it. I didn't realize I didn't have my one device charged. Oops. Oh, there we go. Okay. Camera almost went black. All right, so now we're going to get these labels put in here. So this is that same size label that we've been using for our sentiments. Of course, you can use on that, you can use any of the other country corners on there. Okay, we have that, and now we're going to use this as our stopper for our easel on the inside. And put that down. So this card, it really just showcases the paper, and on purpose, I didn't put it over the ribbon. You could position yours wherever that you like. I just kind of wanted to play around with a little, I guess, different layout than what you might put it in the center. For this on our bling, while we were putting them, you know, on either side of the sentiment, on this, I thought I would go ahead and just put it around on the paper. So I've got some here. We'll just kind of pick up the light in different ways. And then let's put one here on the cardstock. And then maybe one over here. So it doesn't always have to be on the label. I think that's where naturally that I want to go with it, but not always the case. All right, that's our third and final easel card here for our Countryside in class. So here's what we made here today. We made 2 of the easel cards using the largest of the dies from that Countryside corners. I don't know why I want to call them Blossom Countryside corners. So we had one going the 4.5 by 11, and then the other one went from starting out with a card base of 5.5 by 8.5, and then we just have our traditional one here. Who would not like to have a collection of cards like that? So pretty, so pretty. Let me turn the camera around so that I can say bye to you. All right, everybody, I hope you had a great time at class here today. In the descriptions, if you are interested in either, you know, getting this kit to go, it's free with purchase. You can find the information out there. If you're local, there's still time. If you want to take this class next week, just give me a quick message. Many of you have my email, and we can do that. So I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday night, and you have a great week, and I will be talking to you soon. Happy crafting, everybody. Bye-bye.